Hello, and thank you for joining me. Today, I want to talk to you about how you can profit from Nigeria's $750 billion solid mineral wealth. Most people probably know that Nigeria has over $3 trillion worth of oil and gas assets. Actually, just oil assets, over 3 trillion. But for those who know, getting involved in the oil and gas space for most investors requires tens of millions of dollars or hundreds of millions of dollars. However, while oil and gas is actually off limits for most people, there is an opportunity for you and I, for your friends, for your business to get involved in solid minerals, trading, mining, beneficiating, processing today, for you to get involved and make generational wealth in doing so. Now, this is not theory. And this is not me trying to say this is for everybody. This is not for everybody. However, for those who have the means, for those who have the market insights, this might just be the opportunity for you to create generational wealth. So let's get into it. I'll be starting this presentation by talking to you first about the opportunity. The slide you see on the screen is a chart which was made by PwC in the last couple of years, showing the contribution of different sectors of the Nigerian economy to the overall GDP. If you look to the far right, you see the four bars. The yellow bar is 27%, showing the contribution of the agri business sector to the Nigerian economy, followed by the trade sector at 15%, 6% for oil and gas, and the micro bar, which you can barely see to the far right, 0.23%. That's the solid mineral sector. As of 2022, that was the contribution of the solid minerals sector to the Nigerian economy. So here's the thing: Nigeria has hundreds of trillions of dollars worth of solid minerals buried deep in the ground. Today, actually, my last calculation at 1,500 to the dollar is actually over 1 quadrillion. So here's the question: what if we could manage to increase the contribution of the solid mineral sector from 0.23% to 5% of the Nigerian economy? What kind of impact would that have on our economy today? Now, the last time I checked, our current GDP is valued at around $277 billion. 5% of GDP from the mining sector alone would contribute $13.85 billion. Put differently, that's 20.7 trillion naira. That's the potential that this sector has if we could only grow it, to 5% year on year on year. And this could last us more than 50 years. So, why is it that most people are not looking at this as a viable opportunity to create generational wealth? That would be the objective of my next slide. The next slide shows the problem. What is the problem? According to 90, only 30% of mining companies in Nigeria today are active. Put differently, most of the mining companies in Nigeria are briefcase or portfolio companies. They only have, what do you call it, the exploration license or the mining license, and they're unable to do anything with it. Thousands of mining assets in Nigeria today are dormant. What's the reason for this? From my experience, I understand that it's simply lack of finance. So, lack of finance to develop the project. So, for most mining projects, you first need to determine where the assets are, where, in what quantities the asset is there. So, it requires a lot of detailed documentation by qualified professionals. For example, you need to conduct exploration, feasibility studies, financial models. You need to get proper approvals. You need to do your EIA, your environmental impact assessment. For some, you need to do engineering designs, mining plans, community development plans, and so on and so forth. So while you don't need tens of millions of dollars for most mining projects, you still do need some significant money. And many of these portfolio companies simply do not have the resources. So that's the first reason. The second reason is the lack of financing to actualize the project. Now, once you are able to get past this phase of developing the project, getting financing is actually relatively easy. Another reason why the mining sector is underdeveloped in Nigeria is because of the lack of transport infrastructure. For example, Nigeria has very limited rail capacity. We only have rail in some few major cities across Nigeria. And for mining to really thrive in a society, in a country, you need extensive networks of rails. We don't have that. And for that reason, most investors probably do not want to get involved. Another reason why our mining sector is underdeveloped are security risks due to banditry, due to this and that, and so on and so forth. And the purpose of this video is not to try to solve all the problems, but the purpose of this video is to try to propose a solution to one part of the problem that can enable you and I and people like us to make money from the solid mineral industry. So stick with me. We'll be wrapping this up in a few minutes. So, but before I talk to you about the opportunity, let me just talk through some of the minerals that we have in Nigeria today. Nigeria has been documented to have 44 minerals in commercial quantities. Some of them include limestone, lithium, kunzite, tantalite, cobalt, tin, iron ore, barite, titanium, manganese, bauxite, aluminium, lead or nickel, copper, marble, and so on and so forth. So the truth is the opportunity is everywhere. Everywhere you look in Nigeria, from the east to west to north and the south, the opportunities are lying there around you. But only a few $100 million players and of course, artisanal miners are making money from this business today. Some of the $100 million players you already know, the likes of Dangote, who is a major player in the limestone sector, Thor Explorations Limited, who focus on gold, Kogi Iron Limited, who focus on iron ore, Multiverse Mining, who focus on lead and zinc mining. These are the major players. Of course, there are a few others as well: Bua, Siemens, Zuma, and some others. These are the major players in the industry. However, for us to really benefit from the wealth that Nigeria has in the solid mineral sector, we need a different category of players. We need $10 million players. We need $1 million players. In fact, we need 200,000 players, $200,000 players. We need $400,000 players. This is the way by which we can increase the mining output at scale to be able to get it to contribute to at least 5% or more of the Nigerian GDP. So, how do we get to this? Well, the first thing is to understand that mining assets in Nigeria, most of them are probably already taken. This is fine. There's no need to get involved in litigations with companies who own these assets and say, I want to take it from you or whatever. No, we can partner with them. We can find mining asset owners who have not been able to raise the money to develop their projects. We can find them, we can partner with them, we can agree profit sharing ratios and say, hey, look, you know what? We bring in the money, we do a proper JV, we bring in the money, we develop the project, we fund the asset development, the financing of it, we begin to mine, we begin to beneficiate, we begin to export. This is how much will come to us, this is how much will come to you. Banks do not fund mining. Banks don't fund mining. Except you're a big company with hundreds of millions of dollars or tens of millions of dollars in revenues, no Nigerian bank will touch your mining project. I used to be a banker, and the truth is, getting money for if someone came to you with a mining project, the first question was, what is that? Like, do you really think I want to go into the bush with you? Because the truth is, most of the assets we have in Nigeria today are in remote locations. So banks don't fund mining because they don't understand the sector and because most of the mining companies do not have revenue to prove that they can actually repay. So here's the thing: if banks don't fund mining and only a few companies with the means are able to fund mining, here's the kicker. Why are we not thinking of friends, cooperatives, colleagues? Why are we not thinking of getting together, pulling resources together into collective investment funds to be able to get involved in mining projects? Because the truth is, not every mining project requires $1 million. Some of them today, opportunities exist in lithium mining, exist in coal mining, in lead ore mining, in tin mining today. Opportunities exist in manganese mining, in marble mining. Opportunities exist today that you and I can take advantage of with investments in the region of $100,000, $200,000, or $300,000. So why are we not doing it? Well, we're not doing it because for most of us, we don't have $200,000 by ourselves. We don't have $300,000. So here's the thing: if you don't have $200,000, what if 20, 30, 40 of you? What if friends, what if groups, what if cooperatives can get together and say, hey, look, We have the money. Let's get the appropriate market insights. Let's get the technical capacity that we require. Let's put this money together. Let's exploit this sector and let's begin to create wealth. But again, this is a challenge for most people because even for those who have the money, they're like, okay, how do I find enough people like me? Well, that's why we exist. Project Savers International, we exist to aggregate funds into projects which can provide inflation resistant returns to investors and also contribute to the Nigerian economy. So, we are a platform that can actually match you. We can pull together investors who are interested in the same project, get the appropriate resources, the technical expertise to run the project and ensure that together we can collectively exploit opportunities that one person cannot exploit by himself or herself. So that's why we exist. So if you're interested in getting involved in the solid mineral sector, and you have questions or you have need for clarification, if you are interested in knowing about current opportunities that you can begin to exploit and make money within the next couple of months, we can provide credible opportunities. We can provide credible market insights. We can provide credible information that can actually help you to get started. Nigerians in the diaspora, this is your opportunity to bridge your coming back home. I understand that many Nigerians in the diaspora and across Africa too, they want to come back home. But they're thinking, if I go back home, what am I going to do to make money? I live a certain kind of lifestyle here. I need a business that can provide this same kind of income for my family, for my life. How do I get involved in this? Well, this is your way back to Nigeria. This is your way back to Ghana. This is your way back to Tanzania. You can begin to invest back home. In our next video, we'll be making a video about how to safely invest in your home country because this is another major issue. But I'll be stopping here today because that's not the objective of this video. The objective of this video is to show you that there is real wealth in the solid mineral sector in Nigeria, and the same is true for many other African countries. And you can participate in being part of the avant-garde that releases the wealth of Africa. And you can make a lot of money doing so. Thank you very much for watching the video today. It's been a pleasure me being here presenting this to you. If you have questions, reach out to us. You can check out our website at projectsavers.com. You can reach out to us info@projectsavers.com, or you can send us a WhatsApp message on +2348187166041. And if you haven't subscribed yet to our channel, please subscribe. We'll be bringing you more informative content about how to invest in Africa and how to contribute to increasing your wealth and the development of the African economy. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.